everybody. Welcome to the Dissonant Echoes podcast. This is episode 13, 14, 15, somewhere around there. I've kind of lost track because I'm kind of behind on editing these things, so my apologies for that. But today we've got a special episode. We've got Alan, which is myself. Adrian, the label owner, is here. And we are joined today by...
We have guest Cameron from Light Dweller and Stephen from Sleep Paralysis.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we've got... we're spread across the country. I'm in South Carolina. We've got Chicago for Adrian, Arizona for Cameron, and then we've got California for Stephen. So once again, thanks for making the time, guys. So yeah, I mean, the whole reason we're here tonight is because the new split, the full-length split from Light Dweller, AOECIST, and Sleep Paralysis called Illusory Dissolvents, which we're putting out on the label. And just to go ahead and get this out of the way for anybody that isn't aware, I've posted about this, but AOECIST is me. I used to be anonymous with that project, but here we are. I wanted to do stuff like this, so the mask is off. But yeah, we've got this awesome split that we worked on, and it's been like 6 months plus now that we've been kind of talking about it and working on it.
Yeah, 6 months. That sounds accurate.
Yeah. I mean, I came up with the idea because I had some songs left over. Basically, well, I want to ask you guys like when and how the projects got started for you guys. But to kind of get into that, I had worked on what I ended up putting out as a EP, my first release for AOECIST earlier this year. I started working on that like June of 2024. And I had some song ideas left over that I just didn't finish. And so those songs ended up being something I wanted to put on a split. I think I actually had 6 songs, and 4 of them plus 3 plus 1 new one made the cut for this split. And I just got the idea, like, why don't I hit up somebody and try and put out like a split, because I only had like 3 songs at the time. But, my first instinct was to hit up you, Cameron. Kind of a shot in the dark because, we had never met before and never spoken or anything, but I was a fan of your music. And that's the first time I've ever done this, but it turns out you can just message any artist on Bandcamp. There's just a link on their page to email them. So I just tried that and you got back to me pretty much immediately and you were down for the idea. So it's really sick. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem. I remember when you messaged me, that was like right after I just released my last full-length album.
Yep.
I actually had no material written when you hit me up. So I had to just like start everything from scratch.
Yeah. Which is...
Yeah, and I think we all released something like right around the same time, right?
Yeah, I think you released your album the same day as me, February 28th, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
right.
Same day.
And then my EP
yours wasn't too
March.
far out.
Yeah, and then eventually, as we were talking about it, we decided there weren't really enough songs on it. So you mentioned that you had been in touch with Stephen from Sleep Paralysis and that he might want to join in. So we asked him and he was down as well, which was really sick. I had never heard of Sleep Paralysis, but dude, your stuff is insane.
Thanks, man. That's what I'm going for. It's sanity.
Yeah. I mean, I like I said, I want to talk about how the project started for everybody. And I guess we would start with Cameron since his has been around the longest, I think. So,
yes. I started Light Dweller December 2017. So I guess the best way I can answer this is my previous band, Knolling Roots. Well, not previous, it's still my current band, but that used to be a one-man band, just like how Light Dweller is, just a recording project. And then eventually I made a full band out of it, but I still missed writing music solo. So I needed another outlet to be able to do that. So I created Light Dweller. I changed the style. So like Knolling Roots is more atmospheric black metal, just like melodic stuff. Light Dweller, dissonant death metal. So always wanted to try that style. So yeah, December 2017. That's when I started. That's when I put out my first self-titled EP, and then I think fast forward to like January 2019, so like 13 months later, that's when I released my debut album. And then there's like 4 more albums after that.
I don't think I've even heard your self-titled. Is that not on Bandcamp?
It is, yeah. It's called Nullity of Light.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I've got that one too. So yeah, you've been doing this for a while now, and you said that you wanted to do something in the disso death kind of genre. So like, what inspired you to want to do that? Which bands or anything like that?
Yeah, so I've been a death metal fan since I've been playing guitar, like essentially my whole life. But as far as like one particular band that got me specifically into dissonant stuff, Artificial Brain. I've always been familiar with the genre before, just like growing up, but something kind of clicked in my mind when I heard Infrared Horizon, their second album. All three of their albums are great, but that something about that album just like kind of clicked something in my mind, and then it just made me want to write stuff like that, and that's how Light Dweller was birthed.
Well, I have to admit, I still haven't listened to that album. It's kind of criminal, I know, because every artist in this sphere that I respect always mentions it, but I still haven't gotten around to it for some reason. Have to do that. What about you, Stephen? When did you start Sleep Paralysis up?
I don't know if you're familiar with Cerulean. Oh, I think you are actually. I think you made a comment about it before. I've been doing like Cerulean since 2017, and the last year, like 2024 and a little bit of 2023, I just had like a really crazy writing spurt where I was just writing like crazy. So everything that I was that ended up being for Sleep Paralysis was originally for Cerulean. But as you know from listening to the record, it's a lot more avant-garde and weird than like what Cerulean would normally do, and also like it wouldn't be practical to play it live either, which I wanted Cerulean to be like more of like the live band, and then Sleep Paralysis to be the side thing. So anyway, yeah. So when after I wrote the first Sleep Paralysis full length, that's when I decided like, okay, I should probably do this as a solo thing, not muck up the Cerulean stuff too much, and then yeah, that's where we're at now.
Yeah, I kind of relate to that because AOECIST was originally it was going to be music for my death metal band, my local band Signosis, and it was just clear to me that while they were both like death metal and fairly dissonant, I wanted to go further into just weird shit with AOECIST. So I split off and did it as a side project at some point. And that would have been, like I said, around, I don't know, May or June of 2024 when I wrote those songs. I don't even have the guitar that I used for that anymore. I think it was a Strandberg Bowden 8, like the bass model that has like the passive pickups that look like EMGs but aren't. That's what I wrote it on.
What happened to that?
I ended up just selling it for bill money at some point.
That sucks.
Yeah, it was a pretty sick guitar. But that was like the whole inspiration was just weirder than my current death metal band. I guess the bands influencing me at the time would have been like Nightmare was a big one. I know Adrian and I are big fans of everything Simon does with the label that he has and his music as well. But also bands like Cave Sermon, which is a one-man project from Australia, which is really fucking sick. And Ulcerate, of course. Anybody that's in a dissonant death metal band has been influenced by them, as well as Gorguts, of course, also. And yeah, I mean, the whole premise with AOECIST is that it's like microtonal, but I'll just set the record straight. It's not truly microtonal in the sense that I don't have more frets on my guitar. I wish I did. It's actually a lot more simple than that. There's just a left and a right guitar, and one of them is detuned a quarter step or 50 cents so that they're out of tune with each other, a perfect quarter step, which creates extra dissonance. There's also a weird ass tuning that I use and stuff. So yeah, but that's enough about AOECIST.
Really quick, I wanted to ask, what's everybody's go-to guitar, or like your main rig?
I want to know for sure.
Who wants to answer first?
You go for it.
I've had the same guitar since I was 16 years old. It is It's a Washburn XP50, I think. Got this for my 16th birthday. I've literally never bought a guitar in my life. So yeah, this
Nice.
is it right here.
If it works, works.
Yeah.
You said you tuned to drop A sharp, right?
Yeah, drop A sharp.
Nice. See, we've talked about it a little bit, but I really appreciate people that can make, just very little gear, make a lot of music, That's inspiring to me, and that's the opposite of what I normally do. So I need to learn from that.
Yeah. I've been very minimalist with anything regarding music, just recording music. I had a cracked version of Cubase that I was using for a decade, and I didn't buy a single plugin. I was just using all stock stuff. My earlier recordings definitely suffered quality-wise as a result. But now that I've actually bit my tongue and spent some money on plugins, now everything sounds a little bit better. But yeah, I've been quite minimalist, a little bit to my detriment.
I'm the opposite. I'm very much not minimalist, as you can tell.
Well, I mean, any and all approaches work. It's just whatever the end result is, that's what matters,
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I would put myself somewhere on the kind of, I'm a bit of a gear whore. I always am just looking for my next thing that I want, whether it's a guitar or studio gear or a microphone or whatever. Just always, there's always something that I'm wanting. And I think that is to my detriment, kind of like how Cameron, you were saying that your quality suffered. Well, it's not my quality that's suffering. It's just my output. But, I put out a good amount of music anyway, despite the kind of tinkering around with constant things. But yeah, so I want to talk just a little bit about, we've already mentioned both of them, but your other projects. So Cameron, I found you because of Knowing Roots, which was recommended to me around 2018 on Spotify. It was just one of the next songs that played after something I played ended, which was, used to be a really good way to discover music. It's not so good anymore with the algorithms, but I don't even use streaming anymore. But yeah, that's how I found Knowing Roots, I'm pretty sure. And I think I found, not sure which song it would have been that I first heard, but without a doubt, it was off of the, what's the name of the album? We've talked about it before.
Into the Gray.
Into the Gray,
mm-hmm.
Which is it's. I think that was one of the couple, maybe the only album that you've done with a full band for that project, right?
Yeah, essentially with real drums, yes.
Yeah, but yeah, that album still to this day is just one of my favorite extreme metal releases. Period. I mean, it's just incredible. Really hits me deep in a place that not a lot of metal does. I mean, I love black metal, but I don't listen to the classic stuff, the stuff that you're supposed to listen to. I don't really care. I just listen to mostly post-black metal, atmospheric black metal. And so that was right up my alley, and it just hit me. And I've shown it to all my friends. I've told Adrian about it, everybody. I even made a little reel on Instagram for the label that we put out just to tell more people about it.
I saw that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just it deserves to be heard along with all your other stuff. I did finally pick up your discography and check it all out, and it's amazing. So
thank you.
There's just a lot of stuff about Knowing Roots that stuck with me, and so that was why I thought, maybe I should ask this guy if he wants to be on the split. Once I discovered Light Dweller, which I think I found Light Dweller around the time that you put out your vinyl with Total Dissonance Worship. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I just saw in the credits that it was you, and I was like, oh, shit. So, and Adrian, I know that you've been aware of Light Dweller. You have a couple albums, right?
Yeah, I picked up the vinyl. That's how I discovered you, because I follow Total Distance Worship. I pick up a bunch of their albums. So, yeah, the record's absolutely killer.
Nice, thank you. Did you pick it up in 2022 when it was released?
I picked it up probably a year ago. So
okay,
yeah, I discovered it a little bit later.
Okay, really random. Where do you remember where you got it from? Did you buy it directly from Total Distance Worship, or did you get it somewhere else? I believe I have two copies. Actually, I bought one from Total Dissonance, and I could have swore I had it, and then I
I didn't know where it was. I have like 200-300 records. And so I bought it again for Meteor Gem because they had it in stock.
Okay,
So,
nice.
yeah.
The reason why I ask is I think Simon had like a small amount left over, and then he sold it to Meteor Gem. So that's why I was asking.
Yeah. No, they're local to me, so like I stop in. Great shop. So
nice.
Yeah. So I accidentally bought it twice, but but yeah, I just love the artwork. Just caught my eye. That was the first thing that drew me to it.
Yeah, that's my favorite artwork to this day. That from any album that I've done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's super sick. Who is the artist for that one?
It's Adam Burke.
Adam Burke. Okay.
Nightjar Illustrations, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really sick. It's a lucid offering for anybody that's listening from 2022.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, I just had this gut feeling that, you're the person I should ask first. So I did. You were into it, and here we are. And then you had Steven up your sleeve, which is crazy. So now here we are with a 3-way split, and it's fucking sick. By the time this is out, it'll be out. So, I mean, we can talk about it as much as we want. But first, let me talk about Cerulean a little bit with you, Steven. So you said that you wanted that to stay more of a live band, right? So how long has that been a live band?
So I think, so I started at like 2016, 2017, around then. Did a couple, like a demo and then a single, and then finally released the EP in 2023, I think. And then currently right now we're working on a full length. So we're just we have everything basically written, so we're just getting everybody up to speed on all the songs before we get stuff recorded. If I can go into more detail with Cerulean, so it's actually started in Tucson, Arizona, and now I'm in San Diego. So it started in Tucson. The guitarist, who's now the bassist, he lived in Tucson briefly. He's from San Diego as well, but he was out because I think his ex was doing like medical school or something. Medical school, yeah. And then after they broke up, he moved back here to San Diego. And then after I had some personal stuff in my life happen, I decided like I needed a change. So I moved out to San Diego since I knew a bunch of people just from bands and stuff. And we started jamming with Ben, the new drummer, not new drummer. He's been playing since 2019, I think. We've been going pretty strong since. We actually have a show coming up with Blindfolded and Led into the Woods in October, so that'll be a fun one.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, I could get into talk about live music, but that's not really what this is about. I'll just want to say that if anybody's listening and they want to go check out Cerulean live in October, definitely go do that. Also, Blindfolded and Led into the Woods is a great band too, so that'll be a good time. And then since we're talking about it, is there any Knowing Roots shows planned right now, Cameron?
Yeah, we have our first show in 6 years, since 6 years ago. So I'm already in that like shit. We have a show in a month, and it's our first show in 6 years. We just got a new lineup earlier this year. We've been jamming somewhat secretly, and then we made a couple posts on social media about 1 month ago regarding the show that's coming up in a month from now. And that's going to be in support of an album that we've already finished recording and we're going to be releasing soon. Basically just waiting on the artwork to be finished. So long story short, with one show coming up in a month, and then hopefully more will ensue after that.
Well, that's exciting, dude. You go first.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, have you only really played like around the Phoenix area, or have you gone like outside with Knowing Roots?
Pretty much, yeah, only around Phoenix. We did play in Tucson one time, but we've had tour opportunities, and we tried to tour in the past, but for one reason or another, it just like didn't work out. work schedules and, just like random stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, it just never came to fruition. But yeah, so around Phoenix mostly. But we used to play a lot, like every other weekend for like a good 3 years, from like 2016 to 2019.
Okay. Well, if you ever make it out to San Diego, let me know, and we'll arrange something.
Hell yeah, that'd be sick.
Most definitely. I'm not entirely sure what I was going to say anymore, so my apologies for that, but it'll come back to me and I'll come back to it. Yeah. So anyways, we talked about how I discovered Cameron and how this all came to fruition. Well, we started working on it. Cameron, you decided that you were going to write a new song, and I think you pretty quickly decided that you were going to write one long song, right? So like, why did you want to do that?
As for why, well, I've always wanted to write one long song just in general. And you hit me up for a split, and a split, it's less time than a full length album. So I figure maybe I can just write the entire my whole portion of the split in just one song. I feel like that was just like the perfect opportunity to release a full long song, if that makes sense. It would work well on an album too, but I think a split, that is just like the most appropriate release to make a really long song.
I mean, shit, it ended up working out amazingly. It's one of my favorite things I've heard you record. So good job on that, dude.
Thank you.
For anybody that hasn't heard it yet, go fucking listen to that. And also, there's like, song structure wise, I don't really know too much about how to talk about that stuff still, even though I've been a musician my whole life. But I will say there's like a couple different themes in the song. And there's one that starts happening later in the song, starts coming in a little bit around 8 minutes, and then 12 minutes, it's like you're really in that theme. Man, that gets me every time, that part. It's got like these background like choir keyboards and stuff, and yeah, it's just so sick, dude.
Thank you. I know what riff you're talking about.
Yeah, especially when you do it that last time, or not the last time, but when you bring it back and it has the pinch harmonics, dude, it sounds so good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's super fucking sick. The whole thing is incredible. I mean, I was listening to it before we got on here, and there's the song, what's it called? The Antichrist You've Been Waiting For, that you wrote, Steven. Dude, that one's incredible. And it has a little bit of a touch of what you do on the self-titled with like some of the electronic elements kind of in the background, but like it's still there.
Right.
I really appreciated that you put some of that in there.
Yeah, I was hoping people wouldn't get like disappointed because I didn't like go full piano like I did with the original one, or the first full length. But I wanted to keep a little bit of the chiptune stuff, even if it's like more subtle in the mix.
Right. Yeah, and again, if anybody isn't aware, the sleep paralysis self-titled has all kinds of interesting instrumentation for sure that you wouldn't expect in a death metal album. Like he just mentioned, there's chiptune stuff, which is like Game Boy sounds, which is awesome. There's a lot of piano, and it's like really, like, I don't know how you write this stuff. Like,
I don't know how to write it either.
Because like for example, you'll have stuff that's totally like what's the word? Why can't I think of the word for notes that are just in sequence from a half step to half step?
Chromatic.
Yeah, they're just chromatic sequences of just wild like arpeggios and stuff. And I'm like, I literally don't know how I could come up with something like that, but that's what makes it unique. It sounds awesome.
Thanks, man.
It adds to the whimsical nature of that album. So
whimsy.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Like Charlie and Chocolate Factory, like, yeah.
Just on acid as fuck. Yeah.
Yes. As if the original movie wasn't.
Right. Yeah, I'm just so happy this came together and it sounds awesome. I've told you this personally, guys. I don't really feel like I have any business being on the same release as you guys, but I'm not trying to like gather praise or anything. It's just really sick because I always considered AOECIST to be me trying to do something, and it's genuine because it's my own version of Disso Death or microtonal music, but I always just felt like I was trying to do something, and I don't know. I guess now now that we've got this thing out in the world, I just kind of feel like it is something. I don't have to try anymore. Like it's its own thing now, finally. So that's cool.
Yeah, the only disappointing thing about it is it's not longer. Like every time I get to the end of it, I'm like, man, I wish I had like a full length of this. Yeah, you should definitely keep up with that same style, in my opinion.
I don't actually even own that 8-string guitar anymore. I recently parted with it, but I will eventually be ready to write the full length album because I've had a couple people ask me for it, and yeah, I've got some lofty ideas for what it might be, but I'll definitely still be wanting to use a 7 or 8-string for it. That's just what I do for that project, so I'll get something new. I got my eyes on that Schecter Rob Scallon 8-string. I think it's like a multi-scale deal, but we'll see. So as far as the songs themselves, I can talk about this first, I guess, because it's pretty simple for me, but I just want to know about, how they came to be, if you had any inspirations for them, or if it was just kind of, you just came up with some riffs and went from there, that kind of thing. Just the recording process, how it went for you guys. And I could say for me, it was, like I said, I had these song ideas left over from the EP, so it didn't take a whole lot of effort to finish them out. I kind of just deleted all the riffs that I had there because they were not finished and started over. And in the course of like 2 days, I had these 3 original songs. And then I added a 4th later on just to extend the length. But I don't think I had anything in particular in mind until, I changed the names of the songs at some point. And I think at that point, for me, I don't know, I'm one of these people where I'll name a song before I even write anything for it. Literally, when I'm making the session to record, I'll give it a name. And then that usually inspires both what I write and then also the lyrics later down the line. So, it can change if it doesn't fit later, but oftentimes I'll just go with that name. And so the names of the 3 songs from the split that I wrote originally are actually lyrics from my EP. All 3 of them, I think. You've got like 100 billion lifetimes meaningless and infinitesimally superficial. Those are just lyrics from the EP. And so I just wanted to continue that kind of sound and that theme onto the split. And so essentially what they're about is why I started AOECIST is to have this outlet for just utter sheer nihilistic dread. Because it's like something that is always looming over my shoulder. I'm not a true nihilist. I don't go around looking at people thinking you and I are worthless. That's not how I feel. But it's just one of those things where I'm like kind of struggle with that feeling sometimes just because of the way the world is and my depression and all this, that, and the other. So I wanted an outlet for it, and that's what AOECIST is all about, and that's what the songs are about, essentially. It's not a reflection of my true beliefs is all I'm trying to say. It's just it's an expression of like, just the darkest thoughts in my mind about the universe and meaning of life and all that stuff. But anyway, that's basically what my portion of the split is about. I guess we'll go to you, Cameron. What was your track about? How did it come to be?
Lyrically, it's I'm trying to think of how to answer this. It's about it's basically just about like the quote unquote ruling class, however you want to define that, trying to subvert the whole populace into a slave class. Slave class. That through I don't say in particular in the lyrics like how or why, but that's basically something that I think is just a reality of our society. So the lyrics are reflective of my true beliefs, but I don't get like too concrete on within the lyrics, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Sort of, I keep it kind of vague. Basically, like make it applicable for anyone's worldview for it to be applicable. I don't know if I'm wording that really well.
Yeah, leaving it open to interpretation, but that was the intent, is what you're saying. I get it.
Essentially, yes. But yeah,
what about the recording process? How did that go for you?
So the way I record, it's usually the same way for any album. I basically just fire up Cubase, and sometimes I will try to flesh out an idea in my mind, like a riff that I'm just like kind of just like hummed in my mind, and it almost never works out. All my stuff is usually just like written on the spot from scratch, that like I'm just like fucking around on the guitar with Cubase open. I'll just like play guitar. Oh, this sounds kind of cool. I'll record it real fast and then just like quickly program the drums like for reference. And then I'll usually just like I'll save that recording, and then I'll just like append the recording like linearly on a timeline, left or the right of it. And I just do that for long enough, and then eventually I'll have a full song. But I try to like think of riffs in my mind, or like when I'm not on a computer, like playing guitar, I'll come up with a riff, and then like I'll try to bring it to the computer. And sometimes it does work, but usually it doesn't, and I don't know why. But yeah, it's, to answer the question, basically just open up recording software, just play guitar. Eventually I'll come up with some riff, and then just record the reference of it, and then just like program the drums. And then once I have like the full like backbone of the song, then I'll like actually re-record everything, make it clean. But yeah, that's basically my writing process.
Yeah, just left to right until song is done. Simple enough, man. But if it works, it works, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I usually get a little bit. I make things too complicated for myself. I also use Cubase, and luckily Cubase is really good for this kind of thing. But I'll put tempo modulations and ramps and changes and like time signature changes and like just completely different key signatures and just all kinds of weird shit in my songs. And I don't think they really benefit from it. So my apologies for anybody that is like, man, this is all over the place, because it kind of is. But yeah, I end up just kind of throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. But that's basically my process for it. How did recording the your portion of the splits go, Steven? And what was it kind of about?
So the first song, Apartheid Genocide, obviously with the title, it's about the issues in Palestine, or the genocide in Palestine. I shouldn't say issues. It's kind of seems like it trivializes it. But yeah, I wanted to write a song about that whole thing, and just something I could do to speak out about it. The next song, in the end, it was spoken. That's kind of like my it's kind of like almost like a sarcastic, like "told you so" kind of song. Just kind of like everybody was like saying, this stuff's happening, but then nobody's listening, and no one's actually doing anything about it. So that's what that one's about. And then the Antichrist you've been waiting for. That's basically the you have like the Christian right in the country that like they keep talking about, like, the Antichrist is going to come, and like, calling whoever and whenever like the Antichrist. But like when you have someone that's, tearing down, people's rights and, the, human dignity and stuff, and they're just looking past it, then, it's the, the hypocrisy of it, in my opinion. And then for the recording process, so I typically, I use FL Studio. I have been since high school when I got a cracked copy of it. I'm so deep in it, I can't change to a different DAW at this point.
Yeah.
Even with some of the issues it has, but I mean, for the most part, there isn't too many things I can or I can't do in it. But yeah, so typically I'll start with guitar. I'll get a couple of riffs going. Usually like my criteria is like, as long as I can get like 2 parts in a row that sound good together, that's usually like when I'll like have that as my starting point, and then see if I can go from there. Start with guitar and then bass right after, and then like typically I'll write the lyrics and record the vocals like as I go as well, because I like using the lyrics to I guess in a way like kind of dictate where the music should go, just with like the themes and the just what energy the music demands, like for that part of the lyrics. So yeah, so usually I have like, it's basically like almost like a full song, like going from start to finish, like not like, one part all the way done, one part all the way done, one part and then it's finished, but it's like going section by section basically. And so then when I'm recording, I'll work on the parts so that I can record them like on the spot as I'm writing them. I don't go back and re-record stuff because I don't tab stuff out, because partially I'm lazy, and also because I'm dumb, because like I always come back to it later. I'm like, man, I wish I tabbed it out because I want to play it. But yeah, so it's definitely like very spur of the moment. Just doing what comes naturally, what I think would sound good at the time. And I'll definitely like come back to it and rewrite stuff like as it needs. But a lot of the times, like once I get a part I'm pretty solid on, it doesn't change too much.
I definitely relate to not necessarily like totally improvising things, but definitely a little bit of a freestyle element in there, especially with vocals. Because like for me, I almost always just write the lyrics. Like I'll write one line. Sometimes I don't even write it. I'll just come up with it as I'm at the mic recording. But I'll write one line, record it, sit down, write another line or two or three, and then record those. And sometimes I also write music that way as well. So I definitely relate to that. But it's an efficient way to get things done, because instead of having to do all this planning, you're just recording,
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely positives and negatives to working that way. I feel like, at least for me, like a lot of times the song ends up kind of being like a through composed song where it's like, there's not a whole lot of like repeats and going back to different parts. It's kind of like, there's just like a through line through the whole thing, but like each part's, different, or there's like some themes that carry through. But, anyway, yeah. So I think with like writing that style, like, for me, at least I get kind of locked into doing that, where, at least with, this split, I tried to write it more like in a, I guess mainstream song structure with like a verse, kind of chorus, verse, chorus kind of thing.
Fucking sell out over here. Just kidding. I do the same thing. No, what I do is I use Easy Drummer for my drums, and I've always used Easy Drummer for my drums, and it'll create sections of grooves that are actually called like verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and so that's kind of how I've written most of my songs. So if anybody's a sellout, it's me.
Speaking of drum programs, which ones do you got? I mean, you use Easy Drummer. What do you use, Cameron?
Uberatone.
Uberatone?
Yeah, not very well known.
I have one of those, or one of the packs. I just haven't used it yet. I usually use a Superior Drummer 3.
Nice. Yeah. I used to use Superior Drummer 2, but I got it illegally like 13 years ago, and then my computer was really old and it just broke, so I didn't have it anymore. And then Superior Drummer 3 was like at the time $600 or so, and Uberatone is $25, so I just went with that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, programming drums, none of us as guitarists, we don't really love it usually, but it's just one of those things you got to do. Adrian, you use just Logic Drummer, right?
I started using Easy Drummer.
Okay, so you're using Easy Drummer too. Didn't mean to cut you off there, Steven.
I was gonna say, am I the only one that enjoys writing drum parts? Because I have a lot of fun with it.
I'm getting to that point finally.
It gets a little grueling after a while, but I generally do like it. It's fun.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but like it's almost kind of like a zen for me. Like I just get like locked in and just do like little tiny shifts here and there all the way through the song, and it takes forever. But like I think in the end, it's a good product at the end. So
yeah, I like programming a song like the main structure, but when I have to revise all the fills when I have the song all written, that's when it's like really grueling to me.
Yeah. Well, I think paying attention to certain drummers and what they actually do has helped me with that part a lot. Just paying attention to Daniel Tracy from Deaf Heaven and the fills that he uses, like it's definitely influenced the way that I write drums, and I think they sound better for it.
Yeah, I guess I watch a lot of like drumming YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Of like just different drummers doing whatever songs and stuff. And I'm not saying I copy what they do, but I definitely like look at like what they're doing and like how like how long it takes to go from like a fill to like hitting a cymbal and stuff, because I want to try and replicate that as much as possible.
So Adrian, what did you think about the split, man?
I mean, it's heavy. It's really heavy. Everything kind of flows well. Nothing really seemed like out of place with it, which was surprising. Most splits is like usually like kind of drastic change, but I think the way that this one was put together, I think if you're a fan of any of the bands, you're going to be a fan of the whole split. That's my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. It's fantastic. It's Cameron, your track, it's like epic,
Yeah.
And
that's the right word.
AOECIST, just like it's such a strange project in like you're used to like microtones and stuff, and the way you use like the harshness, like it kind of creates this like eerie atmosphere that I'm really drawn to. And then like Sleep Paralysis, I really loved like Apartheid Genocide. The opening kind of had this very like doomish atmosphere, and then kind of just builds upon that, and kind of just like gets heavier and heavier. So all in all, fantastic split. I'm really glad you guys decided to put this out, and really proud to put the tapes out for you guys. So
thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can mirror that sentiment as well. I know for Adrian and I, this is probably like one of the most. We're probably the most excited about putting this out that we have been for anything on the label.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just really high quality stuff, and we stand behind it fully. So, of course, I'm on it, so I'm biased, but you know what I mean. It's just really damn good. So we're stoked on it, and the tapes are done. And whenever this is out, they're already available for pre-order. So yeah, they're transparent red, and it's 43 minutes, I think, is what it came in at, something like that, maybe 42 and some change.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a full length with 3 artists, and like you said, Adrian, I think there's a little bit of something for everybody that's into the genre, and I'm really proud of it. So just want to say one more time on the record, thank you guys so much for being down and for writing such sick songs, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks again for initially hitting me up for this, and eventually all this coming to fruition.
Absolutely. Well, Adrian, is there anything else that you wanted to ask these guys before we get off of here, or are you good?
Well, you guys got anything you guys want to plug? Social media, anything music?
My newly created AmpWall account that I was told about. I didn't even know about that AmpWall was a thing, but yeah, AmpWall.com/Lightdweller. I think that was the URL. If not that, Bandcamp. That's my usual go-to. I'm on Spotify as well. I don't really like Spotify though.
Yeah. We're not fans.
As anyone. It's one of those necessary evils, unfortunately.
Yeah. What about you, Steven? You got links for people to go check out?
Yeah, I mean, just follow me on like Instagram, sleep paralysis or sleep.paralysis.official for Instagram. Try to throw out memes and make it a good time.
You do make it a good time over there, yeah.
And then also have a Cerulean. Definitely check that out. If you like what I'm doing with sleep paralysis, it's basically just a more raw version of that. Just less on the synth stuff. Yeah, other than that, just living life.
Awesome. Well, the last thing I'll ask you guys, and you can just, if you don't have a preference, that's fine. But is there a song that you'd like for us to play off of the split or on any of your other releases at the end of this episode for people to listen to? You can go first, Cameron.
Well, I only have one song on this release, so it'll be that one.
Perfect.
It is 14 minutes though, so
hey, we've put 18-minute long songs on this thing before, so
okay, yeah, yeah. If you're down for the full 14 minutes, then yeah, my song.
Awesome. So you have that to look forward to, everybody. And what about you, Steven?
Let's do apartheid genocide. I think.
All right.
I think that'd be a good one to get out there.
Awesome. Well, I guess that's going to wrap this up, and I hope everybody enjoys listening to those tunes. Definitely go pick up a tape. They're out. The pre-order is released at this point, so support these guys and their other projects, and support underground music in general. Let's keep Disso Death and other types of extreme music alive. I appreciate everybody tuning in for Dissonant Echoes once again, and I guess that'll be all for today. Thank you so much for checking out Dissonant Echoes, the official Hauntology Records podcast. And we're going to play you out today with Light Dwellers' song Cast to Rot in the Ash of Abandoned Sovereigns, the 14-minute epic from The Split, as well as Apartheid Genocide by Sleep Paralysis. Enjoy.